Alright everyone, it's time to say that bad ideas come from so-called conservatives too, and I wouldn't really call you a conservative if your knee-jerk reaction to the Nashville shooting is, well, clearly the obvious solution is we need to take guns away from the mentally ill. I'm seeing that from multiple people, including some content creators that I generally like. I'm not going to name names, but, take a casual stroll down the, I guess, so-called conservative side of Twitter and, you'll find some real winners there. No, taking guns away from the mentally ill would not be a good idea. Who would determine who is mentally ill? A bureaucrat? Especially under this administration. I'm sure that would be really, really great. They'd love that Second Amendment workaround. An ivory tower egghead with a PhD from Stanford or something. Yeah, they're very, very likely to share your cultural views. See, the problem is that the people pushing this, and again, it's a knee-jerk emo reaction, they're assuming that people that think like them and use common sense to determine who's really a threat are going to be the ones that actually administer such a thing. But they're not. It's going to be the sweater-wearing NPR cup-wielding dude with the master's degree in psychology. That's who's going to make the decision, at least on the local level. The national level, the policy would have to be formed by, Well, the Biden administration and a bunch of Democrats in Congress working with the neocon cucks like Cornyn and Mitt Romney who would actually pass such a thing. That's who would be designing such a concept. Now, there is a premise that is correct. There's a kernel of truth to the argument. The founders would not have considered a criminal lunatic to be a member of the militia, because back then they would have been under lock and key in their own family, or they would have been in the jail, and later on they would have been in a goddamn insane asylum. But we got rid of asylums, and our communities and families have broken down, so at this point, if a person is mentally ill, they're much more likely to be living under a bridge than having their family look after them, because they don't have because they've gotten too reliant on government to help the needy. And so they don't feel compelled to help their own fucking kids and their own fucking relatives and friends anymore. And so you get a problem. When the absence of an asylum system, you've got people out on the streets who have genuine criminal lunacy, and they typically end up in jail. And so you have things happen like with Audrey Hale in Nashville. That does not mean the average mentally ill person is a criminal lunatic. The founders would not have considered a person who is merely depressed to be a problem. They would have owned a musket or a rifle or pistols or whatever the fuck they wanted to own. Plenty of depressed people, especially back then when half the population was malnourished. They had vitamin deficiencies and dyspepsia and erysipelas and everything else under the sun and half a dozen diseases that don't even have names anymore because they're understood to be symptoms of other things. People had gout, lots of substance abuse disorders. Drunkenness was fairly common. Because people typically put alcohol in the water anyway because they didn't have a chlorination or something like that. Didn't exactly have a pure waters back in the late 1700s, or for most of human history for that matter. So they used to put wine or beer in it. They made small beer or they tippled a little wine and they walked around tipsy all day anyway. Of course they had fucking problems. And a lot of them drank more than just that and enjoyed the occasional medicinal brandy. Drunkenness wouldn't have been considered a problem. Maybe if you were on the battlefield drunk it was, but just the fact that you happened to be the drunk of the town didn't mean that people came and took your musket unless you were doing something wrong. And that's the problem. When we look at the label mental illness, we're talking about a plethora of different conditions that have been standardized, but it's post facto. It's not originalist in any way. Most of those things like ADHD didn't exist in the 1700s. It would have been called, hey, you're a twitchy person. You have you're a bit of a space cadet. That wasn't considered an illness, it was considered a personality quirk. Even something like bipolar, okay, this person, sometimes they're an asshole. That was personality. They didn't recognize it as a mental illness or make any real attempt to treat it. The person may self-medicate, again, with booze or opioids or something. Opium usage was common back in the homeopathic era. And that's the truth. The fact is that conservatives, when they make that argument, are effectively arguing that the government or a therapist or whatever, or under red flag, even a jilted ex, the sister you don't like, the parent that doesn't trust you fully and is paranoid about your actions, they can always get a court to step in and say, no, you're not allowed to own a gun. No trial, no due process, no originalism, despite the existence of Bruin. Apparently this is allowed to happen. No, somebody complained about you from across the street that you were potentially a menace, so we're taking your guns away. They said that you talk to yourself too much. Clearly you're mentally ill. We're going to put you in the nut ward. The litmus test is that if the person is not dangerous enough to lock up or force medicate, then the person is a member of the militia if they're of the age of 18 and of sound body, of course. You don't have arms, it's hard to use a gun. You're a member of the militia and the Second Amendment applies. It doesn't matter if somebody says, well, you're transgendered and that's a mental illness according to me and therefore you're not allowed to own a gun. The founders would have thought you were crazy. That ain't the way that it works, sunshine. It ain't the way that it works. When conservatives cuck on this issue, they're effectively saying, spank me harder, daddy government. And so it's a goddamn waste of time. Again, multiple commentators, and there are plenty of people that apparently agree with them. I'm seeing people conducting polls, like on Twitter. Should the mentally ill be allowed to own guns? And it's like 60-70% of people say no. You have not thought this through now, have you? But, of course, a lot of people can't think at all. They're fucking morons. Plenty of morons on the right wing, too. Why I never joined the Republican Party. Again, just look at Mitt Romney. He got in somehow. People even voted for him. They almost made him president of the United States. It shows that the morons come in different shades and shapes now, don't they? Now, it's a cuckery is what it is. It's worse than NRA futtery. Even the NRA is not coming out and suggesting that. Do we need more mental health access in the U.S.? Yeah. Would it be even better if we rebuilt our civic structure so families gave a damn about one another, neighborhoods came together and people gave a damn about their neighbors? So instead of, you're making a TikTok video of the old lady crying as she drops all of her groceries 50 years ago as you helped her pick up the fucking groceries and bring them home. Now, if you tried to do that, she'd probably draw a switchblade on you anyway, thinking she's about to get hammered in the back of the head and robbed in some communities in the United States. Now, that's the other thing. Why does this always happen in urban areas? It never seems to happen out in Farmville. Farmer John done shot up the school with his 12 gauge. Doesn't really happen. People in urban areas go crazy more often anyway because the neighborhoods are inevitably going to be more blighted because of the concentration of people, meaning that even if you don't have more criminality per capita, you have more criminality in a given area. And so it's always more present, and it makes people insane. Cities are a problem. Lack of mental health access and acumen is a problem. Authoritarianism is a problem. Blighting in the inner cities as the result of leftoid policies is a problem. And parents that don't take responsibility and are shitty and their kids are not raised properly, and schools that fail them similarly, those are the problems. It's not mental illness. Because again, most of the mental illnesses of today would not have been recognized as such in the 1700s. That's a medical fact. I've edited plenty of antiquated works on medicine. I know what the founders would have considered madness and what they wouldn't have given a fuck about. That's and it's not guns number 2. Gun access is not a problem either. Depressed person, yeah, okay, they might self-harm with a firearm. If they're that suicidal, they'll swallow a bottle of aspirin, or they'll slit their wrists, or they'll hang themselves too. The gun did not cause them to die. It's just the methodology they chose by which to end their life. Again, other than people that are literally delusional, or they're currently locked up because they're incapable of telling right from wrong, they're a literal psychopath, everyone else would have been considered militia worthy. They would have been mustered all the same. That's about all. Peace out.